Hey guys, welcome back. We have got the center section kind of buttoned up. We got that all welded up. We showed you some tubing notching, some bending skills, and some of that stuff that you're going to be able to use. Now we're moving on to the back of the car. These are really hard cars to just tub and narrow the frame section on them. We want to make room for a 335, 35, 20 tire on the back of here. These frame rails are they look like they're thick up here, but they are terrible down here. They taper down, so they're only like this thick. And everybody has complained about notching this to make room for tires. And when they do, they buckle the quarter panels and everything, because if you take 1.5 inches of material out of the side here, you have nothing left, and it's so thin here that it just gets flexible and floppy. So we're going to show you how to do this in a safer manner that's going to work way better and give you structural support, rigidity. We're also going to box in these back sections right here. We've already boxed in the center section, and now we're going to move on. So we're going to show you some little tips and tricks and show you what entails with this back section.
Gonna grind down all these plug welds here. Eric welded them all up because look at all the holes that were in the frame here. We got rid of all those. We're welding in all the engine mounts and everything already, so we're cleaning it up and taking a flat disc and grinding it down and making it look smooth again.
We're going to take and before we box these back plates in right here, the frame has got a really goofy twist and wiggle in it here. We're just going to cut these off straight and smooth that out so we can go over that with a flat plate and not have the plate warped and twist like that. So we're going to grind those flat first, and then we'll put our cardboard up here and start making our cardboard templates. Alright guys, we got everything ground down back here, so we got a nice straight run for our templates. Making our templates and doing any kind of template work, there's quite a few little tips and tricks for this. You could just lay a piece of cardboard and like beer can cases, pop cases work well. It's like a tag board type of cardboard, so it's pretty flexible, and you can just put it right against the side here and trace it if you can get at it on both sides. Works really well, and you trace out your outline. Or if you can't get at this, if your body is on or whatever, you take what really works well is a marker that's kind of dirtied up, and you can push on the side and burnish that shape right into the cardboard. You do that, and it makes a nice little transfer line all by itself without using a marker whatsoever. And now you just cut it along that mark. So you don't have to get in. If you can't get into that other side, that's a quick little tip, and it works better with a dirty marker from the backside because the dirt actually rubs your line onto here. So that works really good for templating everything out. So now we're taking this frame rail and we're going to jog this in. And you notice we didn't just go crazy and cut the outside of it where we need our clearance for. We are actually going to box in our inside and make reinforcement here. And we remove this section of the where the original shock mount and the spring pocket do. We took that out of there, and now we are going to go with a cross member across here that will grab our coilover shock mount. But we're reinforcing the inside, and we're going to do one side at a time. So we'll get this done and get this all boxed in, everything tacked up on here before we even think about cutting our outside out. That way everything holds tight and true. And yeah, stay tuned. We'll follow us along with the rest of the journey.
Have you seen The Witcher?
Alright, we finally got a little bit more of the templating done, and you can't do a complex shape like this all in one piece without, we're doing it in smaller little pieces and everything so you can get a little bit more detailed in the contours. And now we don't have pieces big enough to do this all in one piece, so we'll take this apart. We're going to do this in one piece. The side, the top and the bottom will be one piece, and then we'll splice this, and then we'll weld that from both sides so it's fully welded. You won't be able to see the seam in it at all, and this will look like one nice flowing frame rail. And we jogged it in like 1.5 inches right here, and we're going to do this before we cut it outside. So we're going to do some cutting next. Let's see what it looks like. There we go, there's our frame rail. Still got a little trimming to do. Golden. Let's cut it. Let's cut it. Alright, we got quite a bit of stuff done. We got our templates that we use. We cut all these on the bandsaw. You don't need any fancy piece of equipment. You can cut this out with a 4-inch grinder if you want, a cutoff wheel, a bandsaw. You don't have to get things laser CNC cut out. You can do this stuff at home in your garage. You don't need the super fancy equipment. And this is a really goofy profile because it starts out really wide. It narrows down and then it goes in and out and everything at the same time, but it's thin enough where we can form it around corners and everything pretty easily with a little bit of heat and a hammer. So now we got these all box plates in here. We're going to get all this tacked in place. We're going to get our pieces tacked in here, and this is going to be our new inside of the frame rail. After we get this in here, we'll cap off the top and the bottom, and then we'll cut the outside off. But we cut these whole pieces off here that originally held the coil spring and the shocks as well. So those are now out of our way as well. And you look at this goofy shape of this frame on the inside of here, it's only this wide on the inside of the car. So if you took out 1.5 inches, you'd have no material left here at all. So we're going to keep going on this, and we should get this thing tacked in place here shortly. So keep going. You're gonna get me. I turned around and looked at.
We have most of these plates all fitted for the most part. We need a little grinding here and there, but we're gonna make this top plate here, get it, just kind of getting everything tacked in, and hopefully we can weld it all up.
All right, we got our inside of all our plating off here. Bobby got everything tacked in place. We got all this ready for our inside rail. We did it in 2 pieces here because we didn't have pieces long enough to do that, and we'll just grind that. We beveled that down, so we'll grind that down flush, and you won't even know that it's 2 pieces. And then for the top pieces here, he had templated off all this with the techniques that we showed you just the other day. And now making the top curved pieces like this. This stuff is 11 gauge steel, so it's not really hard to bend. You can bend it around just about anything. But if you want to match this shape, you have to go a tighter radius. We used a slip roller that you adjust the roller right here to make this radius. But you can bend it around your belly if you want to, or your leg. It actually bends fairly easy. So that's how we get this shape right here. And then we'll start tacking that along, and you can kind of mash it right into shape and get that to match up really nice while you're tack welding it down. That'll complete our top rail. We still have to do our bottom rail here. And then don't forget, next week we're going to start getting the whole outside cut for our wheel tubs and to get those 335, 35, 20 tires to fit in this frame and in the wheel well. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below.